Hey everyone, how are you doing this morning? Or maybe this afternoon, depending on what it is, maybe this evening, I don't know. How are you doing though, either way? We only had you watch the notes on lesson 13. Now, you're certainly welcome to watch the notes on lesson 14, but they combine together pretty well. It's not something that I would say, hey, you need to do it. But it's there as a resource if you do need it there. So we're working with division today. And we want to be able to, all right, at the beginning here, write the expression in words. Okay. We also want to be able to, we see in question two is we want to write it as a fraction that's there. So I'm actually going to start with problem number two here first. And the big thing is your division symbol. Remember, we don't really like that one anymore. All right. It's kind of like the Kittyland one here. All right. We use that fraction bar. So the division symbol is going to separate those two things that you're dividing. So you can see I'm dividing by an H. And since the H came second, to the right of the division symbol, it's going to go in my denominator there, just because we read from left to right and we read from top to bottom. And here's the thing, the G plus 12, it doesn't need parentheses. Now, it's important that it has it to start with, because it lets us know that all of this is being divided by H. But the thing with fractions is they're actually there. Okay, we just don't fill them in. So that's the big thing. If you're writing out from left to right, you need the parentheses, all right? If you're writing it as a fraction, well, we don't use the parentheses that are there. So the big implications regarding that is when you go the opposite direction. So if they give you this G plus 12 divided by H, you have to realize that this is no good, all right? All of this is being divided by H. And again, that gets us back to the original. So that's one of the big things we're working out there is you have a fraction bar, it is wrapped in parentheses, even though they may not be there. All right. The other thing we want to be able to do is realize the division symbol that we're looking at here. We don't use this guy too often, so there's not a big emphasis on it. But you guys used to see this guy a lot. All right. So what we do want to keep in mind is if you're taking G divided by 12 and you're dividing by H, that H would be on the outside, that G plus 12 would be on the inside. All right. You will see that today. Again, it's no different than if you were doing 12 divided by 3. We would set it up as taking the 3 and try to get as many groups of 12 we can out of it. So that's one of the connections that we want to make sure you can do. They've got us writing this in words. So the big word that we're after here with division, all right, is that word of quotient. All right. So that's a big thing. Now, when we use that word quotient, it's like our word sum that's going to be in there. The word and's going to appear. Now, and does not mean to add. It separates the things that you are adding. That's kind of like a musical thing there. Yeah, no, it separates what you're adding there. Quotient, we're going to use the word and. It's also going to separate what we're dividing. So I can kind of put it in right away because that's my division. So I know the H is going to be to the right of it because I'm dividing by the H. And now I need to get that G plus 12 in there. All right, so we can say the quotient. Uh-oh, I did bad here. You know what? Let's do this. Let's change the thickness. Let's go and rewind here. All right, let's try this again. The quotient of G, now it's plus 12. No symbol here. Remember, we want words. G plus 12 and H. So it's not the quotient of G. All right, and then we're pausing. It's the quotient of G plus 12 and H. So that and is our division symbol. It's going to separate the two things that we are dividing here. So that's a big thing here. Sum, again, it's going to use the word and, but it's going to mean an addition symbol. Difference, it's going to mean to subtract, but it's still going to use an and that's in there. So that's the big thing that we are watching for here today. In your classwork, that you guys are working on here. All right. It does combo it together. I'm going to take you for a little walk here. It does combo together 13 and 14. So one, be aware of that, just like your entrance slips end up saying here. And they're just going to have you, well, write it out in division problems. So they're really going to give you the words, and then you're going to write out the expression that's there. So check your answer keys that are there. The bottom one, at the bottom section there, that's more of lesson 14. So again, if it's bothering you, one, we'll talk about it. Two, we got a video that's on it as well too. So you can always kind of dig into that. But if we talk about things that are more important than other sections, that one's not as important as that top section is for right now. So big emphasis is the top section we're doing there. All right, people, get on your way. There's the bell. Got to go.